Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty good myself because, the video I uploaded earlier today on Quantum is doing quite well, and also huge shout out to Chris the Narc for actually showing up and showing some support. That's crazy, dude. I never actually thought that you would actually watch one of my videos, so I am very honored. Thank you for that. But I promised you guys a double upload earlier, and we got one right here for you. So today, we are going to be taking a look at a PC fanboy. I know, guys, right? Crazy. I'm a PC gamer. I'm looking at a PC fanboy. Holy crap. But yeah, basically he does not really like the God of War PC release too much, which is kind of strange because, it's got hack and slash combat, and by his own admission early on in the video, he really is an avid fan of hack and slash games, but I'm not going to even try to make it make sense. I think we should just get into the video.
Well, welcome back to a new video game review. So recently I've been playing God of War, which has come over to the PC from the PlayStation console. And as an avid fan of hack and slash action games, I just had to give this game a try. I never really got to play this game when it first came out because at the time I didn't have a PlayStation, and I'm more of a PC gamer.
Just like I said right there, he just admitted he's a huge fan of hack and slash games, and that's why he had to give this one a try. Now, bit of a disclaimer, I have never actually played God of War, but I am actually thinking about getting it because it does actually look like a lot of fun. And from what I've seen, the combat looks extremely good, but you guys will soon see that even though this dude admits he loves hack and slash games, he just doesn't really enjoy this one too much, and you'll see his reasons in a second.
But it seems as though the PlayStation exclusivity has expired and they decided to bring it over to the PC. And to be honest, I don't even know why they bothered. This game is not even a very good game in the first place. I don't know why there was so much hype around it. I guess it's because it was like a special PlayStation only game, and I guess it was given special treatments by the Sony fanboys in the same way that Halo was given special treatments by the Xbox fanboys.
That's right, dude. The 20 million people who bought and enjoyed God of War and the few million who have bought and enjoyed it on PC now, they're all just a bunch of PlayStation fanboys, every single one of them. Because according to this guy, if you like this game, if you don't agree with him that it's not a very good game, then, you're just a PlayStation fanboy. That's the only way you could enjoy this game. And he's saying, oh, I don't know why it was ported over. Well, I have some news for you, dude. It was one of PlayStation's best-selling exclusives, and they know they can make a lot more money if they put it on PC, so why wouldn't they port it over?
Purely because it was an exclusive title. Now, I kind of just see this as a lazy cash grab. I don't really think much work would have went into porting this game over to PC, apart from changing the controls and changing some things so it runs smoothly on the PC. It just seems like they don't really know what else to do, so they thought, why don't we just bring God of War to PC as well, make some extra money.
Wow, what a surprise. Sony wants to make more money off their video games. Also, as long as the game works fine and it's still, the same game that it was a couple of years ago, who cares if it's lazy or if it was just a cash grab? Like, if the game was full of tons of issues at launch, then yeah, that would be a problem. But, considering it launched pretty good, besides, I think there was like an issue with stuttering or something like that, but it wouldn't happen very often from what I know. But yeah, if you're going to give something crap for wanting to make money, you might as well just throw your whole PC away, because the only reason those companies made those PC parts was to make money.
And unfortunately, I don't think this game really holds up very well in 2022. It's quite an old game, and it's glaringly obvious that it is pretty old. And I find it kind of shocking that they have the audacity to charge £40 for this old game as if it was a new game.
Dude, the game is not that old. It's only 4 years old. If you hate this game coming to PC, you're gonna hate when Spider-Man comes to PC, because that game is 5 years old now. Also, how is it glaringly obvious? This game still looks like a new game in all honesty. Like, the graphics on this game are absolutely incredible. And yeah, it does suck that they're almost charging full price, but that's the thing, they're not even charging full price, and even then, I think most people would agree that the game is well worth that price point.
Just because you port an old game over to the PC doesn't make it new again. It always baffles me as to why gaming developers expect us to pay this extremely high price for this old game as if it was a new game.
Well, with the improved graphics and frame rates, it kinda does look like a new game in all honesty. Plus, how is 40 quid or 50 US dollars, how is that an absurdly high price point? Like, that's not even full price, dude. You must hate when new video games come out and they actually are full price.
Now, as for the game itself, is it any good? As a video game, I would say no. As kind of like a cinematic interactive movie, I would still say no.
I mean, from what I've seen, again, I haven't played the game yet, but from what I've seen, it does look pretty damn good in both those regards, but please, let's hear your reasoning for it.
The game is extremely heavy on cinematic cutscenes, and you can't skip any of these cutscenes. They force you to watch the whole thing, which implies that they believe that the story is very important. They probably think that the story is so integral to the game and the enjoyment of the game that they wouldn't even allow you to skip any of these, and you're just forced to watch this bold, muscular guy with a beard walk around with this little boy, and I get this feeling they're trying to create this endearing father and son dynamic, and they're trying to make you really care for the boy as if he's your own son.
My dude, it's literally a story-driven game. The whole point of the game is you're supposed to experience the story while also, having some fun with the gameplay at the same time. But the main focus of the game is the story. This is how a lot of Sony exclusives are, in case you hadn't noticed. It's just God of War has what looks like ridiculously fun gameplay on top of that. Now, in a game like Doom, for example, where, it has a story, but the main focus is just the gameplay, of course, they're going to let you skip the cutscenes in that game. And even then, even if you don't want to skip the cutscenes, they're not very long because, again, the story is not a very important part of Doom. What the important part is the gameplay. But in God of War, yes, the gameplay is important, but again, it's a narrative-driven game. The whole point is you're supposed to follow the story. In a movie theater, if you're watching an action movie, they're not going to skip over the parts where there's no action and only play the parts with action at a normal speed. No, they're going to play the entire thing so you know exactly what's happening. This, like you said, it's supposed to be like an interactive movie, so like it doesn't really make sense that you would be able to skip the cutscenes.
And they're trying to create some kind of emotional attachment to him. As someone who doesn't really care about the well-being of fictional characters, I found it very difficult to form some kind of emotional connection with the characters and the boy.
So let me get this straight. You bought a story-driven, narrative-driven, whatever you want to call it, game where the main focus is the story, and then it's got some great gameplay on the side, and now you're complaining that they're trying to get you attached to the main characters. My dude, if you don't like to form bonds with fictional characters and you don't like to follow stories and stuff, that's on you. That's not on the game. That would be like if I bought Among Us and then complained that there weren't enough guns to shoot people with. Imagine bashing a game for being what it's supposed to be. Couldn't be me.
And I just really didn't care about their stories or their struggles. I just wanted to skip the cutscenes and skip straight to the action, which they would not allow me to do. So I was forced to just sit there watching these cutscenes, and the main character is just really boring. He's just like a very uncharismatic, very dull, gruff and rough, tough guy. And he just grunts and scolds the boy over and over again. It's just really dull and boring. The main character is like a robot. He's got no personality.
So if you want to skip the cutscenes and just go straight to the action, why did you buy a story-driven game? My dude, there's plenty of hack and slash games out there that aren't God of War. Again, stop bashing the game for what it's supposed to be. Also, again, I've never played the game. I don't know really anything about the story or Kratos' personality or anything, but he literally described Kratos' personality as being like rough, gruff. He's a tough guy. Like, he constantly scolds his son and then proceeds to immediately say that apparently he has no personality. Like, which one is it, dude?
And then when you finally get to the gameplay isn't really that great either. The gameplay is just very dull. You just kind of spam the left mouse button and the right mouse button for a heavy attack, and then you've got to dodge the attacks or block them. It's very stereotypical hack and slash gameplay.
Dude, I'm honestly kind of done at this point. This dude literally said he was an avid fan of hack and slash games, and now he's mad at this game for being a hack and slash game. Like, you really cannot make this up. He's literally criticizing the game for being the type of game that he likes to play. Fanboys have officially hit a new low.
There's like 100 different games that all have this same gameplay mechanic, where the enemies just kind of surround you and they wait for you to attack, and then you've got combos and you've got blocking, you've got to dodge and roll out of their attacks. and it's just not interesting. I just sat there spamming my mouse button over and over again, waiting for these very dull enemies to fall down, and they take quite a lot of hits. For example, this guy I'm hitting now takes like 10 hits to finally take down.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't button mashing and stuff like that just like trying to kill all the enemies as quickly as possible? Isn't that the whole kind of principle of hack and slash games? Also, keep in mind that he said that the enemies take a long time to die, because it's going to come back into play a little bit later when he talks about bosses, and honestly, it's just really dumb. You guys will see here.
And then you've got the cinematic set piece boss battles, which are also just as boring. So instead of fighting multiple enemies, you've just got one really big enemy that takes even more hits. It took like 100 hits to take down this big giant who has a massive rock. And it took me several attempts to do it, not because it was difficult, mainly because it was just so boring. I was falling asleep while spamming these attacks and not paying attention enough to dodging and rolling and blocking. And these boss battles just take far too long, and then if you die, you have to start all over again from the beginning.
Again, keep in mind that he's saying these boss battles are taking a really long time, because not right now, but in a couple minutes, this is going to come back to bite him in the butt so unbelievably hard.
And when you're not hack and slashing these really dull enemies, the rest of the game you're basically just doing platformer puzzles, basic puzzles, very simple puzzles that all kind of feel the same. So you've got obstacles to get past, usually a bridge, and the bridge is standing up, sticking up. You got to kind of wind it down, but then when you let go, it goes back up again. Then you've got to use your axe to throw at a target, which freezes the bridge from falling. Then you got to get over the bridge. You have to do this same kind of puzzle over and over again. And the puzzles are so easy, I don't even know why they bother including it. I feel like they just added all these really mundane, tedious puzzles just to pad out the game a bit.
Okay, two things wrong with this statement. One, how are they padding out the game if they're so easy and take no time to solve at all? Second of all, shouldn't you be happy that they're so easy? Because I thought you wanted to skip to the action. So why are you upset that, they're allowing you to get to the action relatively easily?
Give it a bit of variety. But the puzzles just feel so pointless. You're just aiming your axe at some target, freezing the bridge so you can go over it, or the boy climbs up and then drops down a chain so you can climb up to where he is. And I just feel like I'm just rolling my eyes the entire time doing these puzzles.
I mean, honestly, dude, these don't really sound like puzzles to me. They just sound like quick little obstacles that you have to get past. Like, for example, in Doom Eternal, a lot of the time, you would have to, press a button to activate, a bridge or to start a fan up or something so you could traverse to the next area. And it was very obvious, where that button was or whatever, the target you had to shoot or whatever.
There's also, an upgrade gear system where you can add runes and apply different attributes and points to your weapons and armor, but I just didn't really care enough to really get involved with this. The menu system was quite complicated.
Remember earlier when I said to keep in mind the fact that, he thinks the enemies take too long to kill and the bosses take too long to kill? Well, yeah, here we go. This is the contradiction I was talking about earlier. Dude, don't you think that maybe upgrading your weapons might help you to, I don't know, kill the enemies faster? I mean, you're literally admitting the game gives you a way to upgrade weapons and armor and stuff, and you just admitted that you don't want to take advantage of it because you're not interested in it? What kind of logic is this? How is that on the game? If you're not going to take advantage of the tools the game provides to you, don't get mad at the game when it doesn't go your way.
And the tutorial was quite annoying. You have to keep pressing E and enter to get all the little tips out of the way. And maybe the game gets more complex later, maybe there's more things you can do with customization when you get further into the game, but the game just didn't really hook me enough to make me want to carry on playing the game.
Bro, this man is putting out a review for God of War and he hasn't even finished the game. Why are you throwing all this criticism at it when you haven't finished the game? Let's just say that all the stuff you mentioned was actually the game's fault, or it was actually a bad thing. How do you know it wouldn't get better later on? Also, I guarantee even if the customization or whatever did get better later on, it wouldn't even matter for you because you said you didn't even care that you could upgrade stuff, and then you still went on to complain that enemies took too too long to kill.
So would I pay £40 to play this game and try and finish the game? I don't think I would, because I just felt so bored playing it for the first few hours. I feel like the rest of the game would just be more of the same, just spamming the mouse buttons, rolling and dodging, and then upgrading your weapons a bit, and maybe there's more puzzles later in the game and then more boss battles. I think that doesn't really sound like something I would be interested in. So unfortunately, I can't really recommend the game, and I would give it a 2.8 out of 10.
I'm not even joking, guys. For the next like minute and a half to 2 minutes, it's literally just this weird music playing over the gameplay so he can hit the 8-minute mark and farm ad revenue from this video. Also, he said he felt like the game would be more of the same for the rest of it, so once again he's complaining that it's a hack and slash game. And, you know, he said he's an avid fan of hack and slash games, but anyway. And he said, you know, it would be more upgrading of weapons and stuff. Well, my guy, not in your case, because you don't even bother to upgrade the weapons, and then you complain when the enemies take too long to kill. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Basically, what we learned today is God of War is bad because it is what it's supposed to be. And yeah, that's basically it. I feel like I am very well informed having come away from this video. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.